The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Sciforror Film Podcast. This week I am doing an interview special with Louis Taylor and Daniel Attrill.
Attrill, yeah.
Attrill. That's right. I always get that. I don't know why. I always get a blank spot there. Hi guys. Anyway, how you doing?
How you doing, man? Yeah, thanks for having us on, Andy. It's good to be here. Good to be here.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
Now we reviewed. Now I'll get this right round. We reviewed your film, Louis Dole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I saw both the films and did like a short review of them. I saw Dole again and the Haunted
Hall. Yes.
On at the Romford International Film Festival, Horror Film Festival. And liked both of them. And now it seems you are making a feature film based on the same idea as of the Haunted Hole.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, let's go back. Let's start from the beginning. How did you get into the whole filmmaking thing?
Oh man, who wants to go first?
Well, it started many years ago.
With our conception.
Yeah, right back in those days.
Yeah. Go on, Dad, I'll let you go first, mate. I'll let you go first.
Well, yeah, no, me and Lewis, we met at college. We were doing the National Diploma in Media Production.
Right.
And I did a year before the first diploma, a year before, and then I'd sort of learned a couple of things. And then Lewis came on board the second year. And the first time we actually worked together was I was making this little music video for the course, and we needed somebody to act in it. And I think Lewis was the first person I saw, and I was like, Lewis, it's going to be in this music video. And yeah, I would have never guessed that was going to be like this working relationship that me and him would grow from that. But yeah, it was ever since then we made that, and then obviously we connected with our love of filmmaking and the passion that we had for it. And then we started we had to make a little short film for a course, and then we did that, and we absolutely loved it. Me and Lewis, as I said, we shared the passion of making it. We loved every single bit of process of making that film. So we decided, why not make our own short films?
Yeah.
And so we decided to make sort of like a little production company and decided to go off and make our own thing. The teachers at the time were saying to us that they wanted us to make our own stuff outside of the stuff that we were making for the course. So yeah, me and Lewis were like, you know what, why not do what they said and make our own sort of stuff outside? The first 3 short films we made were for the course, but the 2 after that was actually done outside. And yeah, I think they appreciated it until they realised that that's where our love was, and everything else, all the other parts of the media production course, we didn't really care about. It was the filmmaking, and I don't think they really appreciated the fact that we were like, nope, that's all we're solely really focusing on. The rest of the course didn't really mean much to us.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's like people I've talked to who are filmmakers, you kind of get the taste for doing that, and you don't really want to do anything else.
Yeah.
You just get bitten by that bug, and it's just like, that's what I want to do from now on.
Yeah, because the other stuff was like animation, and it's nice to know the little things that we know of it. Radio, well. Radio, and then theory, and the theory behind everything. The filmmaking was the thing that just took a hold of us, and we were like, this is the one we're doing. But the one thing that did annoy me a little bit was that me and Lewis, we bring the best out of each other. And every time a video call started, they always split us up.
Yeah.
We're like, no, we want to work together.
We'd have to like fight to end up working together. And I was like, why would you split us up when we're clearly working very well together? We're going to get the best marks in the assignments we're doing. So why would you ruin that? So we had to kind of battle with the teachers. And yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, sometimes we'd be like, right, okay, in my group we've got these people. Like, we'll trade that person for Lewis. Let's do it. Yeah, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. The college days.
Yeah.
So were you influenced by people? Were there specific people that you'd seen or specific films you'd seen that you thought, I want to do that?
Yes. Yeah, I think for me, it was like from a young age, I watched, I sort of, it was films like The Karate Kid, and then there was like Rocky, and, and kind of inspirational kind of, overcoming the odds kind of stories. And I think that was like my first time I really, I suppose when you could say film sort of grabbed me in a sense, it sort of, made me think, actually, like it kind of made me think, actually, that's like something that's quite interesting, that there was something there, but obviously as a young age you don't really know what that is. And then obviously as you grow up you watch other films and stuff like that, and I just fell in love with film. So for me it was like the underdog story that kind of got me into storytelling and into the idea of wanting to get into film. And then it kind of just went from there. And obviously as you grow up you see, I was heavily into I used to, with my dad, we'd watch like the 80s action films, like the Stallones and, like the Stallone movies and like Rambo and all this, like all the typical 80s action movies. And I absolutely loved them. So it was almost like my love for cinema just kind of grew and grew and grew. And then I was like, yeah, I need to pursue this as a career. Do you know what I mean? Like there was nothing else really that we wanted to do. So I think that was, them influences was definitely played a part in kind of, wanting to choose it as a career, definitely.
Cool. What about you, Daniel?
For me, well, when I was younger, I used to love horror films. I still do love horror films, but exploring all like the classics and not knowing exactly what they are and going into it. But I started at a pretty young age, maybe younger than I should have been. But I absolutely loved horror films, and when I was a kid, and like with my brothers, because I've got quite a big family, with my younger brother, we used to play these things what we called made-up games, where basically it was us just playing out a plot. Basically, it'd be our own sort of plots, but they'd be very heavily inspired. Like there was a very heavily like Terminator-inspired one, and some sort of horrors sometimes. And then when I actually went to I've always loved films, but when I went to college, the first year I was there for 5 years. The first year I was there, I did IT because I was like, oh, the future's going to be all computers. It's best that I know loads of stuff about computers. However, it was the most boring course I've ever done. So that's when I was like, I can't do this for another couple of years. So let me look at something else. And I was like, oh, I like film. So let me try media. And then the first time I got my hands on the camera and then started editing and all that sort of stuff, like I just fell in love with it instantly. And I was like, yep, this is it. This is the thing I want to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, have you only really done horror, or have you looked at other genres? Have you done other stuff?
We've done. I'll tell you what. Over the years, we've made 15 short films, I think.
Right.
I think 14 or 15 shorts, and we've covered like the kind of the hoodie kind of gritty, the hoodie genre, as you could call it. We've done obviously horror. We've done
done a sci-fi.
Done a sci-fi. Yeah, we've done a bit of action. We've delved into action. So yeah, we've actually done. When you look at our whole kind of filmography so far, you could like there is like a mixed. There's a mixed bag there, I'd say.
Yeah, with our first feature film, that's not a horror. It's more what we call it a psychological drama, but it's more of a drama than anything else. It has like little sort of, I guess, a little spooky moments in it near the beginning of the film. But other than that, it's with the horror stuff. Yeah, it's sort of coming later to us. Even though I have made a couple of horrors very earlier on, but it is coming more of a late, like at the end game of what we've done so far. is when we're now focusing on horror.
I was going to say, are you leaning more towards that now, towards doing horror, or?
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, basically, it's just we're taking. I'm not taking things seriously, but now we've spoken to a few people in the industry. We're kind of learning it a bit more than what we did before, and we realise that there's certain markets and that are very sellable.
Yeah.
And right now, horror is very sellable.
Yeah.
And I've always known horror has always been sellable. I'm a big fan of the genre, but yeah, since speaking to certain people, that's where people have been telling us to lean is horror, because if you want people to see it, horror itself sells. Like just the premise of the film sells. You don't need stars. You don't need, especially on like low budgets. You basically, they're quite cheap to make, and people will see them no matter. Like it's kind of like, I guess, if you think about what we made with the Haunted Hall and Dole, it's like the Haunted Hall. You kind of know what that is from the title. Is a place haunted. Dole, there's a Dole, and it's gonna. Yeah. And on the poster of Dole, it's the Dole. You know what I mean? So it just sells itself. It sells itself from, oh, that's a freaky Dole. Oh, I'll buy that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I must admit, I did enjoy both the films, and I mean, we when we reviewed Dole, there were a couple of things that we said that we were a little bit unsure of, but as I said to you at the festival, seeing it on a big screen made a big difference, because it just had so much more of an impact on a big screen than it did on the small screen and that. And the Haunted Hall, it was really good. It really worked well. And when you said you were expanding on the idea of making it into a full-length feature, I was like, I thought, oh, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see what you're going to do with it. So I mean, you kind of you work on each other's films, but you kind of work together, but one of you sort of like ends up being the lead, like the director.
You could say that. One of us is the lead, and then the other one sort of just helps produce in the background. That's how we work.
And like we've done that for years. Like if I've written scripts on my own, Dan's written scripts on his own. But together we'll produce, do you know what I mean? So maybe I'll be directing at one point, or Dan will be directing, and then we just basically produce. We're like producing partners, so we produce each other's films, and we work very well as a producing team. It's like we have said, it's like I think we said we've said before, and I think at the Romford Festival we've done an interview there, and we was talking about how we have this honesty between us where we can. If one of us sends each other a script or a cut of a film or anything, it's like we'll have an honesty where we can say, look, this needs to be changed or that needs to be moved, and it's like, and having that kind of open dialogue with each other is vital, I think, to a successful producing partnership, to be honest, because I think if you're lying to each other, you're not going to make the best work, and you always want to try and improve and get better everything you do, especially every project you do, going forward. So we've got that great working relationship where we can be honest, and there won't be any offense taken. It's just that creatively we've both got the intention of the best result at the end. You know what I mean? So we've always worked like that, and we will always continue to work like that, because it kind of gets the results we want to get.
Yeah, and it does. It works well. You end up with a good end product, which is what it's all about, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, the film, the Haunted Heist, is the feature film. And have you got a full cast now for that? Are you fully cast for that?
Yeah, we're fully cast. Yeah,
and you're ready to start filming.
Yep, we're filming in 4 days. That's where it starts. We've got 8 days of shooting that we've got to do. I'm a little bit worried about it because it's very short compared to what we've filmed before, especially with our last feature film. But that's a shorter film than what this is going to be. Right. So we're kind of like, I don't know. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but we've got to work a bit more faster than we've ever had before. But I'm pretty sure we can smash it out still. Even we've got 11 years experience of doing it, so hopefully we can carry that, or everything that we've learned. Hopefully we can take that on board and just smash this film out. But yeah, the Haunted Heist, it's going to be very interesting. That's another thing about the Haunted Heist. What I was saying earlier about the title, the Haunted Heist. you can kind of guess what the plot's about.
Yeah. But I mean, it's interesting though. You kind of you were saying at Romford that it's going to be, although it's based on the same idea as the Haunted Hall, it's going to have some differences.
Oh yeah. So what technically it is a sequel, but it is a sequel. It's set after the short film. So the short film did happen, but you don't need to watch the short film to watch the. Like, there's nothing. There's only like a couple of little references to the short film. If you haven't seen the short film, it will just go over your head, and you'll be like, "Oh, moving on." But if you've seen the short film, you'll be like, "Oh, I know what that is."
So, I mean, Dole is on YouTube at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Haunted Hall is not on. Is it on there
YouTube
now?
Yeah, they're both on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if it was because I didn't know if it was still doing festivals and things or.
Yeah, it's on the same channel as Dole. We kept it on the Dark Urban Entertainment channel.
He actually got released before Dole. It got released last Halloween.
Yeah, it did actually.
Fair enough. So people can go and watch them anyway and see see what they're all about anyway.
Oh, definitely.
So are you casting locally?
No, we've got several. I think most of our cast is from London. Obviously, we're filming in the Cambridgeshire area, so a lot of them has to travel up. Luckily, when we were getting funding for the film, luckily we got a little bit more than we were expecting, so we were able to get accommodation for these people, which was nice. So these people can come up and actually just not worry about spending any money. So, but yeah, no, I'm very happy with everything that's at the moment that's happened with the pre-production of Haunted Heist. Everything seems to be falling into place. Now we just got to hope and pray that people show up.
And we got to execute it on the day.
And
We have to execute it.
It sounds like you're going to have some quite intense days filming if you only doing that amount of days.
Oh, it's gonna. Yeah, we're on a. Is it 9 days? That 8 or 9 days?
It's 8. It's 8
days. 8 days to film. I mean, if there's any filmmakers that are listening to this right now, like 8 days to film a feature is like hell.
Yeah,
it's like absolute hell. Like that, it should be possible. It's that.
I mean, you're going to be doing something like 18-hour days or something. Surely
it's going to be ridiculous, man.
The thing is, I've spoken to a couple of filmmakers before, and they've filmed films somehow in about 5 days, like a whole feature film. One of them did it in 3 days, and I have no idea how they did that in a 3-day shoot. But there's two. There's the actual like hall. Obviously, it's set in the same place as the Haunted Hall. It's the same location and everything. We've not got as much time as we were hoping to be in there for, and yet a bunch of the film obviously is set in there. So those shoots when we're actually filming inside the hall, they're going to be like, we need to just keep going. I don't care if we didn't get a take, just keep going. It's gonna be brutal, but hopefully that's everyone. Hopefully everyone's as prepped as they can possibly be. So when we get there, everyone knows exactly what they're doing, and we can just smash it out without having to delay anything. We can't have any delays for anything. We're just going to be sitting there going, right, let's just get this done. Do it as few takes as possible.
I hope the weather holds for you as well, because that's the last thing you need. Get bad weather.
Well, luckily that most of the film is inside, actually, isn't it? There's not actually. There's only a few there's not many outdoor scenes, so luckily, hopefully there's no bad weather that causes like a power cut or something. That would be pretty terrible.
On the second day of filming, we're going to be outside all day, so hopefully the weather. Stays nice or decent at least. Because I don't like it when it's sunny. Because when it's sunny,
I know. There is. I know.
Hopefully it's a bit cloudy. Because that's when you get the nicest shots.
The worst thing is if you do filming outdoors over a period of time, because of the fact you can't get the lighting to match.
Exactly. That's the issue. That's why I don't like filming when the sun's out, because you're filming it and in the background it's so overexposed. You're like, I
think in some of our earlier films we've had that problem. Like you can you can, and we can see when we rewatch some of our old films, you can see like you can see the problems there with the light and the different. It is such a pain. It really is.
You get that sort of thing even in big budget films. I mean, I've seen big budget films where you look at it, and you go, well, hang on a minute. When he's talking to her, his shadow is only short, and it's the sun beaming right down. And when she's talking to him, her shadow's longer.
Yeah.
From an angle, how does that work?
Yeah. Battling with the elements is like one of the hardest. When it comes to filmmaking, battling with the elements is the hardest part about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's the one thing I try. Oh, that's the one thing I try to say to Lewis about our films, because they're done on such low budgets. I'm like, even though we want it to look like, a £100 million film, if something like that slips through and we can't help it, then it's just gonna have to be done.
Yeah,
like,
you have to accept it. Yeah.
You've got to accept limitations and work within them. So exactly. You do whatever you can. If you can't do it, you can't. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, definitely.
So when do you reckon this will be finished and out then? Because if that short for making the film, then you're going to edit it and.
Well, my plan, because I'm editing the film, my plan is to get the film completed because hopefully by the end of the summer is my plan.
Okay.
That's included all the special effects and everything. So I'm going to be like non-stop editing, which obviously around my work, but I'm going to be non-stop editing. And hopefully we could get it by the end of the summer and then show it to distribution companies after that. So obviously we've got no time frame to say when we can or when it will be released, because it's down to them. Whoever buys it is down to them. Yeah. So it could be this year, it could be next year, it could be the year after. Some things do sit on the shelves for ages. But the plan is, hopefully, me and Lewis has discussed, is hopefully we will be able to premiere the film, like possibly at Romford. It'd be nice to do it at Romford because the awards at the Haunted Hall and Dole won there. It'd be nice to do it there. Plus, it's mine and Lewis's hometown, and I know there's like a bunch of people that seems to be interested in the film around that area. So I feel like it would be able to do a pretty decent audience number.
Yeah.
So
that would be great. Yeah.
I was hopefully. Are you gonna run it in festivals, or are you looking to just put it out as a?
Do you know what I think? I think it'll be. So we'll have to have that conversation. It would have to be with the distributors, because I don't know, because I think with some distribution deals, they might be funny about it, they might not, because this is our first. So this film is our first film under. So me and Dan launched a new production company called Unrivaled Films. Right. So this is our first feature film under that company. So, and our first time working with a distributor. So we're going to have to really see when we speak with distribution companies, like that's something we'll have to kind of ask and say, are we still allowed to run it at festivals? Because they might not want it run at festivals. You know what I mean? They might think it, you know, so that'll be, something we have to see at the time when we're in that process.
Yeah. Because that's another thing is, because we've been talking to distribution companies, The Haunted Heist was actually one of the films that they were interested in. They saw obviously The Haunted Hall, and I guess they really liked it, so they were like, "Yeah, we could do it. We could do the feature version. Like once it's done, bring it to us, and we'll buy it off you." It's the same with Dole. Like there is a
there's a feature version of Dole.
Yeah, Lewis. It's nothing related to the short film Dole, but he has like a feature film horror film about a doll, and that's another idea that they were very interested in as well. So, but when we were weighing up the options of what to film, because we were going to film the Dole one first, but we were weighing up the options, and we were like, you know what, I think because we could get the location of the hall and everything quite cheap, and everything could be done kind of very cheap. Potentially let's just do the Haunted Heist.
It was an easier project to get going.
That's what I mean.
The script for the Dole feature film, there was more to it that had to come together. But in terms of like practicality, the Haunted Heist was an easier film to make, so that's why we went with that first.
No, it's reasonable. It seems reasonable. Well, I hope it all goes well with the filming and the editing and everything, and I look forward to seeing it when it comes out, or hopefully seeing it at Romford, and definitely watching it at some point. So what's for the future? I mean, obviously the Dole thing at some point, but where do you see taking this?
Do you know what, me now, I mean, we've spent so many years making short after short after short, and we have made, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, one feature film, but we really just want to produce and make a lot of like features now that, you know, marketable features, sellable features, you know, well, they're kind of like genre. They call them genre films, really, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
But we just, with this new company, we just want to try and make, you know, as many kind of feature films as we can that are commercially viable and successful, and just keep growing really as a company, and just keep making as many films as we can. And yeah, like, I mean, horror probably is the main focus at the moment because it's the easiest project to get greenlit when you're talking to a distributor. But there's obviously other things we want to do. Like, I've got projects, like I want to go into like the action genre and the gang, kind of the British gangster genre. I'd love to do at some point as well. So you know, there are other things, other projects that are there, kind of waiting to come to life. But yeah, we just want to keep making as many, mainly features now. I think we'll still do some shorts, but we just want to keep making, try and get into the rhythm of making features every year and kind of getting them distributed out there. That's kind of like the main goal now.
Yeah. Because that's another thing, is that like we've seen fellow filmmakers out there who's making, like, they're just working all the time, constantly got films on the go, and that's kind of like where we want to be. We want to be just continuously making films. We don't want to be doing what we're doing right now, where we're both working jobs, and then obviously I've got a family as well on top of that. So basically I've got to juggle that and filmmaking all together. And it sometimes obviously is a bit of a headache. Like, we would love to obviously be able to make films full time. So the plan, so our plan right now is to go very sort of, go the marketable route, like to get films out there that distribution companies would be interested in and would pick up. We still do have our own sort of passion projects that we want to make, but don't really have a market, like not such a well-known market, let's say. But eventually, one day, hopefully, we could make those sort of films where it's just out, sort of like Christopher Nolan, I guess, where he just makes whatever he wants. Hopefully, one day we can make films like that, because I've got a couple of ideas that will need millions and millions of pounds. But right now, they obviously won't ever get made. But yeah, right now, the plan is just to be hopefully making these sort of films, and then obviously we had our own little flair to it, and make these sort of films, and then hopefully it will take us from where we are right now to actually doing it full time, and we can actually just be doing it all the time, rather than, as I say, juggling everything, because me and Lewis have been doing it for such a long time, and I feel like it's now, after 11 years, it's now our time to, you know, smash this and actually become full-time filmmakers that we want to be.
Definitely.
I agree. Well, as I say, I hope this film goes well, and wish you good luck with everything in the future. I look forward to seeing you on the BAFTAs and the Oscars at
one day. One day.
Let's hope so.
Well, what I'll do is I'll put a link with this to your YouTube channel, that sort of thing, and social media, so people can keep up with what you're doing and all this kind of stuff, and keep an eye out for the films in the future. Everybody watching, thank you very much for joining us, and I'd like to recommend that you go watch Dole and the Haunted Hall, and then keep an eye out for films in the future. What's the name of the new company?
Unrivaled Films.
Unrivaled Films, right? Okay. Well, keep an eye out for that in the future. Thank you very much, guys, for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you,
good
man.
Talking to you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's great.
Thank you. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Take care.
The Sciforror Film Podcast.